Hey guys, MarvelFan45 here, and today we'll be doing my top 10 favorite movies Redux, basically. I'll be re-going over all of my favorites since they've changed massively since last year, and I just want to update you guys on my taste in channel and how it's changed. So first off, this summer I'll be a lot more active, expect to see a lot more from me. I'll finally have my review of Silence out, which I've waited a year to do now. But yeah, my break is I just break whenever I want to, so don't expect videos as frequently, but just expect more videos. Now, on to the show pretty much. I have a little paper that has my top 10, and first, some honorable mentions. Michael Mann's Collateral is definitely an honorable mention. Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love and Happy Together are also honorable mentions. Scorsese's The Departed and Silence would be honorable mentions. And yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe Old Boy, but I don't think that's top 10 worthy. So yeah, let's get into this. So this is the creme de la creme. These are the best films I've ever seen, and they're my favorite. There's no objectivity here whatsoever. I don't believe in objectivity. But yeah, let's start. Number 10, Tarkovsky's Mirror. So this is the most beautiful looking film I've ever seen. It's hard to put into words why this film is so good. It's like the best way I've heard it described is like a flow of consciousness. It's like you seeing in Tarkovsky's mind, and it's beautiful. It takes aspects of Stalker, where it was like slow and very existential, and sort of ramps them up while also turning them down a notch. It's a lot more atmospheric and ambiguous than Stalker is, and that's saying something because Stalker is super ambiguous, but it's more focused on the family aspect and the aspect of poetry and life. And it's something else. That shot of the house burning is one of my favorite shots just ever. Like, or the opening shot, or all the shots, just all the shots. And it contains probably the greatest last 6 minutes I've ever seen in a movie. It it manages to go from past to future and from black and white to color perfectly. Like, it's hard to describe why this film is so good. I would just honestly go see it. Like, it's free on YouTube. It's a masterpiece. Like, I haven't seen anything like it. I need to finish up Tarkovsky's work soon. Excuse me. I'll be watching Andrei Rublev this summer along with Solaris, Ivan's Childhood, and I forgot the other one, but I haven't seen another. But yeah, Stalker. No, not Stalker, sorry. Mirror. It's easily my favorite Tarkovsky that I've seen so far. And one of my favorite films. It could easily hop up to the number one spot. Like, it's that good. Number 9, taking a completely different route from the calm sort of flow of consciousness that is Mirror to Casino. So I've had an up and down relationship with this movie. I wrote a long review about it on Letterboxd, and it just clicked with me. Like, on my last rewatch, I completely connected with it. I do prefer it to Goodfellas. Now, I will say, The Departed is coming very close to taking its spot as my favorite Scorsese. Because even though The Departed is a remake, I don't know if I prefer it or Infernal Affairs. It's been forever since I've seen Infernal Affairs. But it's just so good. But that's The Departed. Now on to Casino. So, I've heard Casino be called Goodfellas Light, and I would somewhat agree, but I would also disagree. So, it does have the same story beats as Goodfellas, but it's not really similar in the vibe and the atmosphere of the full thing. Like, I think the best example is the way it shows violence. Like, Goodfellas is brutal. Like, it's brutal, but in Casino, it's shown in more of like a haze sort of dreamlike type way. Like, the entire film feels like that, where it just feels like you're floating through a dream the whole time you watch it. And it contains one of the greatest opening scenes I have ever seen. I can still recall my first time seeing it and just being completely shocked at what happens. And then the story just gets better from there. My favorite aspect is the romance. I love the romance genre, as you'll quickly find out, but it's just something else. It has some amazing cinematography and direction from Scorsese. Like, this film really just shows off his directing skills. I mean, it's just a fascinating watch, too. And Joe Pesci is a demon in this film. In Goodfellas, he's kind of funny, but in this film, he's like just a straight up demon. He's like Jack Nicholson in The Departed, where he's just like the embodiment of evil, pretty much. But yeah, number 9, Casino. Number 8, Eyes Wide Shut. So keep in mind, all of these films could easily be number 1. It was so hard to place this so low because I love it so much. Where to even begin? This has been my favorite movie at multiple points in my life, but this is the greatest horror movie I've ever seen that's not a horror movie traditionally, because technically it's a thriller, but that entire mansion sequence and everything from that point onward is just horrifying. Like, I can't imagine being Bill in that scenario, but it's Kubrick's masterpiece, in my opinion. As much as I love 2001, Barry Lyndon, A Clockwork Orange, of course, all the classics, I still have yet to see Full Metal Jacket. But this one just clicks with me like the others don't. Now, again, I love the others. Barry Lyndon would make a top 20 easily. I mean, Barry Lyndon's talk for another day. But there's just something about this film. I don't know whether it's his amazing use of neon, the entire mansion sequence, the music, Cruise and Kidman's amazing performances. It's everything. It's all just perfect. Number 8, Eyes Wide Shut. Like, I can't even put into words my love for that film. Number 7, Blade Runner. Now, I've debated whether or not this would go on the list, but recently, again, I've just clicked with it. Like, it took me, I think it was like 3 watches to fully, like, fall in love with it. But once I did, I did. There's something so serene yet horrific about it. Like, it's such a simple, well, not a simple story, like such a normal type noir story, but because of the visuals, the soundtrack, and the story, it's taken up a notch. Like, this is Ridley Scott's masterpiece, in my opinion. But it's just hard to explain Blade Runner. You really have to see it. Like, my favorite scene is Pris's death, where it's the slow motion as she falls through the glass, and Vangelis's Blues is playing in the background as Rick just stares and starts to realize that the replicants are pretty much somewhat human. And then, of course, the Tears in the Rain speech. I don't need to go on about that. But this is Scott's directing magnum opus, in my opinion. It's just something else. Like, go watch this if you haven't. And as for my opinion on Blade Runner 2049, I honestly hated it, but I need to rewatch it, so yeah. Number 6, another film that pained me to put it this low. Possession. Ooh boy. So, Possession starts off as a rather simple thriller marital issue story, and then in the second act takes a bit of a turn that you won't see coming. And, yes, this film is just off the walls insane while also being horrifying. Now, in a film like There Will Be Blood, I'll say Daniel Day-Lewis does a lot of the heavy lifting for the film. While I love the visuals, it's Daniel Day-Lewis that's mainly carrying the show there. But here, Zolwalski's camera work, and this is just a comparison, is just like so on point and magnificent. It fits the manic, crazy feeling of the characters perfectly, and it just becomes the characters along with them. Like the camera work, the music, everything just feels as crazy, if not crazier, than the characters. In the performances, ooh boy. So Isabella Adjani gives my favorite performance ever as, oh, I forgot her name. There's Anna, and then I forgot Mark's wife's name. Okay, Mark's wife, for now, I forgot her name. And her the subway scene, that's all I need to say. Her performance is next level. Like, you do not get better than that. Jack Nicholson is amazing in The Shining, and he's a close second. But Isabella Adjani just goes basically just bonkers. Like, completely off the wall, bonkers, insane, every word you can imagine. And Sam Neill does the same. They're both going off the wall the whole movie. And then there's Heinrich, who's just sort of a side character, but he's also going crazy. At one point, he beats up a character with kung fu for no apparent reason. But yes, it's got that perfect mix of humor and horror, specifically in the final act. This would be a top 3 endings of all time for me. It's so shocking, but so good. I've already seen this film like 5 times. I love it. I can't get enough of this film. Now I'll stop going on about Possession because I could talk about that film forever. Number 5, New Rose Hotel. At this point, from 10 up they're all basically tied, but this is my attempted ranking. So New Rose Hotel is Ferrera's masterpiece from what I've seen. I hesitate to say that because I haven't seen a few films that I might like better, but I don't know if anything will ever top New Rose Hotel. But New Rose Hotel, it takes everything I love about a heist movie, mixes it in, and then flips it on its head. So it takes the normal idea of pretty much watching the criminal doing the job work and flips it so you're watching the people who run the criminal, what they do instead. So pretty much you're seeing the business aspect. And this film just has a vibe to it that I can't even describe. New Rose Hotel, I don't really know what to say. Scully D's score is amazing. Asia Argento is amazing. Dion Wynn, again, I hate to keep mentioning other reviews, but I have trouble putting things in my own words. But Dion Wynn described it perfectly as an erotic, hazy nightmare, and that's pretty much what it is. And again, the ending. The ending hits hard. I did not see it coming, what it would become. No spoilers again. But New Rose Hotel, number 5. Number 4, this is also super hard to place because 2 other films could have been in this place, but I chose this one today. Manhunter. So, I love Silence of the Lambs, but I prefer Manhunter. So, where to even start? This is like peak Michael Mann, like before he went into his digital era, which I also adore. It's just something else. It has that neon vibe. It moves slowly. It isn't concerned with like super intense chase sequences or like big procedural stuff. Sorry again. It's more just about a person struggling with becoming another person, sort of. A person struggling with going back to their past, pretty much. It's hard to explain what Manhunter is, but it's got that neon I love. It has the greatest use of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida in any film. Now, I loved the film before when I was seeing it, and I was like, oh yeah, this would make it high on the favorites list. And then that scene happened, and it immediately popped up here. Like, it's so good. And I watched this film a while ago, and I can still recall everything. I need to rewatch it soon, but it's my favorite Man at the moment. The two that could have taken its place were Miami Vice, which is so close to being on this list, and Black Hat, which was the closest to making it on this list because I adore Black Hat. And yeah, that's all I have to say for Manhunter. Number 3, The Beach Bum. So this might shock a few people, but I adore Spring Breakers, as I said in my best of the decade, but I mentioned I hadn't rewatched The Beach Bum. And on rewatch, I just completely connected with this film. It came exactly when I needed it. There's just something about it. It's completely chilled out, but also super depressing if you look under the surface. And the camera work by Corinne is like calming, but it's also, again, pretty dark under the belly. It has some great comedy, and it has one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen, which is the "Is that all that there is" scene, which I did not expect on first watch, but now I've seen it many times, and each time it keeps on hitting hard. But Matthew McConaughey gives an amazing performance. Snoop Dogg appears and gives an amazing performance. And I really enjoy Snoop Dogg's music, so I was immediately obliged to put this up pretty high. But there's just something about it. I can't tell you exactly why it's my favorite film. No, not my favorite film, my number 3. Again, sorry, they could all be my favorite, but this is my number 3 at the moment. And it just completely connects with me. And yeah, number 3, The Beach Bum. Number 2, October, 10 Days That Shook the World. Ooh boy, so I love Soviet history. I love Soviet and Russian history. So this film just clicks with me. Like, it contains the greatest use of montage I've ever seen in any film. And it's not just one, it's the entire film. Like the opening sequence with the statue of Alexander the Third, I believe, being ripped down, I don't remember which one exactly, is amazing. The shot of the two Napoleons in the final revolution is jaw-dropping. Like, this was made in the 20s. In the form of this film beats some stuff made today. Like, this film is just the peak of cinema. Like, how do you get better than this? Like, I don't even know. It's hard to even explain why this film is so good. Again, excuse me, I haven't drunk some water in a while. But to give you an idea of how good it is, within the opening sequence, I had chills. And they just continued throughout. Like, that's all that I gotta say. This movie is just mind-blowing once you see it. You have to be educated on film, though, too, so you can appreciate some of the stuff. I still need to read some Soviet montage theory, but I read about Eisenstein for an entire day, and knowing all that background information just made it even better. Battleship Potemkin could have made it on this list too, but it slightly misses out due to it having a few dull moments. A few. I adore Battleship Potemkin, though. I can still remember my first time viewing that as well. But this film it's cinema. Like, it's everything cinema should be. It's everything a film should be. And that's not saying films should be something. Films can be whatever they want. That's what makes cinema so good. But it's something that's just beyond anything I'd ever seen at that point. Like, it's unmatched in terms of, like, camera work, it has the greatest editing in any film I've ever seen, period. And it's just perfect. Like, again, it just clicks with me. And number 1, coming as a shock to no one who follows me on Letterboxd, but if you don't, you'll be surprised. 2046, directed by Wong Kar-wai. Another film that just came to me at the right time. I've seen this film, I don't even know how many times now, and I just love it. Like, it has that atmosphere of love, but it crushes you. Like, it has emotional beats stronger than any of Wong's other works. I haven't seen Days of Being Wild, The Grand Master, or Ashes of Time. I just saw on my DVD. But right now, this is without a doubt my favorite and probably always will be. Like, it just hits me. Also, the camera work is, of course, fantastic. I love how he doles out the colors, and there's that darker shade of green instead of the lighter one he usually uses. And then that shot of the android sitting on the train to 2046, just, that shot gets me every time. But I love this for a lot of personal reasons and other reasons, but yeah. 2046 is my favorite movie at this point in time. Now, looking at my DVD shelf, I actually have a few honorable mentions. Other honorable mentions. I won't waste your time for too long. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I love that film. I don't even feel like I need to elaborate on that. Why Don't You Play in Hell? Sono's wacky, crazy, bizarre, off the walls, I don't even know what it is, masterpiece. Aquaman, just the most joyful film ever made. No, not the most joyful. The most fun film I've seen in the 2010s. Let's see. First Blood. First Blood is amazing as well. Furious 7 also almost made it onto this list because I love the Fast and the Furious movies. Oh, the big honorable mentions. Okay. So these would be my number 11 and 12. Twin Peaks The Return, then Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I don't even need to expand on that. If you've seen the Twin Peaks movies, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, my voice is cracking up a bit. I haven't drunk water in a bit. But, yeah. Oh, also Song to Song, and Mission Impossible Fallout, and Mulholland Drive, and Old Boy. I think I already mentioned that one. Big Trouble in Little China, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, Gorgeous, Taxi Driver, The Young Master. The list goes on. The honorable mentions go on forever. Bones, Thief. I could go Zodiac, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Vertigo. This is Spinal Tap, Seven. I could go on, but again, I won't waste your time. So, yeah, those are my favorites. I would be curious to hear yours in the comments. And yeah, that's all that there is for this video. More uploads over this summer, catching you up with my film journey. I'll be reviewing Come and See in Silence, so look forward to that. I'll be doing a video over a few of my controversial film opinions because, if you follow me on Letterboxd, you know I have quite a few. Sorry again, I haven't drank water for a while. So, yes. I plan to watch, because I always enjoy telling you what I'm going to watch next. My First Name is Carmen, I believe it's called. It's a Jean-Luc Godard film. Same with La Chinoise, I believe it's called. I don't recall. It's called La Chinoise or something like that. I can't pronounce it. And I may rewatch Barry Lyndon soon. And I'll be watching Malcolm X, Lawrence of Arabia, and I hope Ryan's Daughter, and I forgot the other one for a minute, Dr. Zhivago, and also Terrence Malick's The New World, and yeah, a lot more, so expect a lot more videos, and if you made it this far in the video, I'd be curious to see answer in the comments if you have a ranking you want me to do, or should I even do rankings? I'm just curious. It's way out of bounds of my channel because I've only done one before, but should I do a ranking? Oh, and one other film that barely missed two other films actually. My Blueberry Nights, Wong's second magnum opus. It could easily be number 2. And I just had it in my head. Okay, sorry. Resident Evil Retribution. That could also very easily make it on the list. Easily in the top 10. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'm gonna go drink some water. Stay safe, stay quarantined, and have a good day. Expect those come and see in silence reviews soon.